Today we're going to be talking about some other ways to look at data, and the first one is going to be what's called a stem and leaf graph. So a stem and leaf graph shows the distribution of data. Okay, so the stem is the number that's in the tenths place, and the leaf is the number that is in the ones place. So if we're looking at this set of data, we have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in the stem location. So those are going to be our 4 stems. Okay, and then we sort through our data for our leaves, and they have to be in numerical order. So I'm going to go through and highlight all my ones with a 4. And I believe that's all of them. So with a 4, I'm going to put these from lowest to highest. The first one I have is a 1. Then I have a 5, a 7, an 8, and a 9. So that's how we would represent the 4 numbers that go with the 4. All right, let's move on to the 3s. Now there's a lot of them, and remember, when we put them in our stem and leaf, they have to go from lowest to highest. So let's see. I have a 2. I have another 2. I have a 3. I have another 3. I have a 4. I have a 5 and another 5. And then 2 8s. All right, and then we move on to the number 2. We have 23, 23, 25, 24, 28, 29. All right, so from lowest to highest, first we're going to have those 2 23s. And then we have a 24, a 25, a 28, and a 29. All right, and then our very last would be our 1s. All right, so from lowest to highest, we have a 10, which is 0, another 10, which is 0, an 11, a 12, and a 16. Okay, so that is called a stem and leaf graph. And like I said, it shows the distribution of the data. We can clearly see that this is distributed heavily over the 3s because there's much more numbers in the 3s than in any other place of our stems. All right, and then the second one we're going to talk about today is a dot plot. So a dot plot takes place on a number line. And again, it shows how the data is distributed. You have to equally space all of the intervals. You have to have a title, and you put dots over the numbers. All right, so if we look at what this list of data is showing us, it's the age group of teachers at CGHS. Oops. All right, so there's our title. Okay, and it looks like the youngest is going to be in the 20s. So we'll start with 20. And then we'll just do this in increments of 5. Okay, and what you do with a dot plot is you put dots above where those numbers are represented on your graph. So our first number is 26. So 26 is going to be right about here, and we put a dot. Then we have a 55, a 56, a 33, a 38, a 48, a 46, a 55, and notice now that I had more than one 55, I just stack it right on top. A 32, a 37, 39, another 46, so I stack it on top, another 32, so I stack it on top, a 29, and that would be all of my ages of teachers at CG. Clearly that's not accurate. There's a lot more of us here, but this is how you would create a dot plot graph.